have
Now,
fun with that.
now the Tumba. It's got the Tumba.
Oh,
Louisiana.
I think you know where to put this right away. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So
I am so glad it got nerfed. I didn't realize the nerfs were so bad because I think I was still playing with Oldendorf, Louisiana, which, by the way, Oldendorf, Louisiana, tricked version of it, would definitely go right into competitive. But without Oldendorf, which I know everyone's going to get one, but it's also you got to grind out a commander to level 11 and 12, and like that. Louisiana is just, it's a really niche ship. It really helps out your divs, but when you're playing it by yourself, I've seen mine try to play it by himself. It gets dumpstered. It's
yeah.
not, it
So
helps the
so here
team, but ugh.
yeah, it's an interesting like I don't know, I was really expecting it to be a better I just thought it would be a little bit I don't know. I guess maybe I was a little worried about adding more planes to the game that I was like, "Oh no, why are we doing this?" But as I'm going through this line, I mean, it's kind of nice. You can, on a center control map or so a cage center control, and there's no other, there's not a CV in the game. You could just pop your fighters right over the center island, give your team a little extra spotting. But okay, first off, when everybody gets Oldendorf, I'll come to your house and I'm gonna throw rocks at you if you put Oldendorf on Louisiana. There's so many better places to put Oldendorf. Don't waste your time on
Yeah,
him in
no,
Louisiana. Yeah,
it
it's just a straight up
it's
niche ship.
nuts. Yeah, it's very niche. I'm glad they nerfed it because prior to the nerf, for anyone who didn't experience it, I think mostly it was the CCs did. You could beat out a Montana even with rapid reload. You could beat him out because of just how much armor you had. And now it's like, okay, no, that Tuma, you shoot the Tuma, you get some citadels, it dies. It's just
Yeah, and
it's
then if we can ever get the dive bomber aiming rework done to where people actually have to aim their dive bombers, you know, I mean, right now
Louisiana would
there's
become a
like,
skill cannon then. I'd say that
yeah,
would be bigger. That'd be a bigger problem. Is now all of a sudden
you know,
Louisiana becomes a massive skill cannon, which would be fun
yeah, it
ish,
would be fun. But
ish.
right now it's just for like for crappy CV players like me, like oh, point and click and forget.
Yep.
There goes my guided missiles. Have at it.
Right. Oh yeah, Louisiana. I'm glad. Like I remember all the CCs were like, "This is gonna ruin Tier 10," and then like no one was like, "Eh."
It's
I don't.
it's just it's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's a crappy battleship. It's a crappy aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
You know, there's like I said, niche is perfect for it. I don't think there's much you can say. I mean, the guns are decent on it. Um, you get punished if you go out of position because, like you said, you got the tumor. Your armor is just like not even there. It's just a niche ship, and I mean, I'm grinding for it because it's there, but I'm not gonna play it.
It does have a hilarious secondary broadside now that they fixed it because now the
Yeah,
top
that's
ones are
true. That's
360.
very
So
true.
that one's kind of funny as you get close to it and you're like you're not expecting that many secondaries to go off on you. So you got that
But
going for you. All right, let's
yeah,
go from
it's
one
niche
ship.
and yeah,
Let's
the
just go on.
Jackson
Yeah,
special.
Jackson's special. And the moment that Jackson's gonna hate me,
Well, I'm gonna let you put it where you think, and then we'll go from there.
it's high playable. It's
That's a very good spot for it.
Yeah, it's super solid. It's a sniper with a crap load of guns, just like Columbo, but it doesn't have the Columbo meme of being able to nuke DDs. Except it can do that with like the Holland, Rigolo, Bazan. It can do a lot of damage, but it's got auto secondaries alone only, and auto secondaries right now need to get reworked big time. They suck. So I can't put Mechlin in competitive. I just can't. It's I don't know. What's your take?
I think my historical camo dispersion build Kurfürst is better than a Mecklenburg. And if we're not putting my Kurfürst into competitive, we can't put Mecklenburg in.
Yeah.
But I mean it's a German hull. It's sturdy. I mean the guns. You want to see the funniest thing? And we were just talking about with Trick Kremlin not too long ago about heavy cruiser guns. You want to see what a Mecklenburg does to tricked out Kremlin? Melts it. Absolutely decimates it. So it's got its spot. It's a decent ship. It's a German hull, but yeah, like I said, straight playable for me. Yeah,
I
no
wish
argument there.
I wish I had more manual secondaries. Wish it did. Okay, Montana, and we do have a tricked version. And
Okay,
and
so
okay, I have to say I know I'm gonna take this one as well. Just off the rip. Okay, I want to say this. I am putting it in this position because it sounds better overall than the other position.
okay,
It is very high playable. I don't want to put it in low competitive because I think that has a different connotation to it. But I think Montana is the most solid BB in this game, and it does really well, even without any tricks, any awesome commanders. I think it just does perfect what you want a battleship to be. I just think putting it in low competitive would give kind of like almost a negative to it, where I want to kind of be positive, where it's like, hey, this is high playable, this is really nice, super solid. Or if it's low competitive, that type of thing. I don't know, what's your opinion?
it was my first tier 10 battleship, and it just does what I mean. What more do you want to do? It's got good fire and flooding resistance. It's got good guns. It just does everything good, but nothing great. Um, I think we were talking about it. Like, I've got like 800 games in Montana, and my average damage right now is just rising and rising and rising. Is it because it's just such a solid ship? But I think like we're going to talk about tricked here in a second. When you've got a normal commander on here,
It's
a
good.
level 12, if you got APCS with your commander on here, it makes it even that much a little bit more better. When we get to the tricked version, we'll talk about it. But yeah, Montana is
Oh,
straight playable. Yeah.
okay. I didn't know if you were gonna go for competitive on this because I know a few people were like,
Mm,
if I see Montana non-competitive, I'm just like, but I hate to be like because just everything in competitive beats it out. But if you put it in high playable, it sounds better, that type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's if we're talking base stock Montana, maybe you didn't buy the historical camo, you just unlocked it. It's just it does everything so good. Base stock Montana goes right into high playable,
I still
and
think
it
it needs
gets
DFA 4.
that's way too much for it. Maybe it
No,
maybe
no, 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 no. Think about it. Because, like, come on. How many
think
stories did we
about it.
hear in World War II where they were like, hey, by the way, North Carolina class, did you light yourself? Like, were you hit? No, we were just firing our aircraft cannons. What? There's so many stories of battleships that were brimming with just
Yeah.
anti-aircraft guns. People going like, yo, you guys on fire? And they're like, nah, we're just shooting planes down.
See,
I
like
want Montana to be a no-go zone like Worcester occasionally, not all the time, occasionally.
okay, yeah. My big thing with that is I'm because I mean obviously I don't know anything about CV reworks.
Yeah,
If we get dive bomber Amy, and I think that's going to fix a lot of issues.
yeah,
And Montana then maybe just needs a DFA, one,
yeah,
couple
one or
charges
two.
of
Yeah, could be that.
it. Yeah,
Could be that.
but
I could be up for that.
for the people that are going to be angry about us putting a Montana in playable, I have to because there's a better version of Montana.
Let's talk about it. Tricked Montana. Now let's quickly qualify. This is just Oldendorf. Like we're
Oh
not
yeah,
talking about the leg mod. The leg mod is not needed. Historical camo. I think is there a special camo for it?
there's no the Halloween camo is at the same stats as the
Oh yeah,
historical one.
yeah. Okay, so it's
Okay,
just any camo and Oldendorf because Oldendorf is nuts.
or Halsey.
Oh yeah, that's true. True.
So okay, so I've got Oldendorf on Montana. And you're putting it right now. That's where it goes.
Yep.
Oldendorf on Montana is absolutely hilarious. Uh, I mean, literally, I don't care. I don't care what other ships are in the game. Oldendorf, Montana,
Does
crossing the
dirty things.
T, APCS plus. We got a match with a CV, two battleships, and four destroyers. Well, I'm gonna deal with the battleships later, but I'll HE out the destroyers,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna just rack up citadels like crazy. It's one of my easiest farming ships. It's just automatic, like big caliber, 90K, 100K, 112. No issues, no stress.
Yep.
It's so solid. Now, if you can play the Halsey game of having the oh Jesus, I'm having drawing a
Angry
blank there, but
Bull and AR plus.
yes, if you have that set up,
It's
I'll
deadly.
just put it this way: Alistair, the cruiser main Alistair, and I'm gonna call him out on this, the little booger. When I first got Montana, it's my first Tier 10 battleship. He made fun of me. He made fun of me for it because it was obviously back then that was the ship that everybody saw. You saw Montana's back then, and he made fun of me for getting it. Then he finally got it and went, "Oh, this is a good ship."
Yeah.
He's got the rage record with Montana with a Halsey build at like I don't know 188K. So, and I've seen what Golden taught me how to play the Adrenaline Rush Halsey. He explained it out to me. It's stupid ridiculous. It's just as good as Oldendorf, Montana. But those two commanders on there puts Montana right in competitive.
It's just a nice quality of life buff on a very super solid ship. What's not to love? Like, it just makes everything easier. I will say the Halsey one, you gotta learn. You gotta learn from someone who knows how to do it. It is
Yeah,
a tricky build.
it is a tricky build, but like I said, when you understand how to manage your health and your repair kits and the Angry Bull adrenaline rush skill, it's stupid,
Oh yeah, no.
absolutely crazy.
For me, I run it on Cleveland, and I find that absolutely hilarious when I can do it right because that ship just becomes basically a gun. Like just everything fires. You're clicking back and forth, just click 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 fire click fire click fire. Like it
Yeah.
is hilarious to play. I eventually do want to get Montana. I do. I just can't do with the NC class. I don't know. I North Carolina class. Oh
It just takes, and you're gonna have if you're having struggling with the North Carolina. I mean, the Montana guns are a little bit better, a little more accurate, but you kind of have the same issue as North Carolina. They get a little goofy on you here and there, that dispersion. But
it's
you
the
have more guns
arcs.
to shoot, so
It's the
yeah,
arcs that throw me off. I'm so used to like Kremlin, Columbos, where it's actually got a nice little flighter, slightly flatter arc. So you're kind of wanting to hit a little bit higher or low. You should be aiming lower and like that. Whereas with Montana, you actually want to aim a little bit higher so it lands on the deck. So
yeah. But you do, and especially at longer range, you're dropping a lot of shells into people's deck with Montana shells, and it's so much fun. I love the ship. I absolutely adore it.
let's talk about the Montana sister ship, Ohio. Where
So
did you, where did you put it? Where'd you put it? Because I have
uh,
one that I have a feeling people are gonna be like, Schlei, I hate you.
So here's a funny story. So I was trying hard to get a, video for I forget which ship it was, but I was just the matchmaker was just crushing me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna record a game in Ohio, and I haven't played Ohio in like 2 years. I pulled it out, put Oldendorf on it, and racked up like I don't know 125,000. Just so easy. It was just like so easy. I don't want to put it in competitive though. I want to put it into more high playable because it's tricky for people because it's a 6 gun battleship.
It's
And
Acom.
that's 8 gun, I'm
It's
sorry,
a
8 gun, but it's
457. It's a 457.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the double turrets and that the double turret dispersion I know can screw people up because it's funny. It
Yeah.
can be funny, but they hit hard. It's a great ship though, but like I said, I'd put it more high playable than anything else.
So I'd actually go because it's kind of that 457 and you have a lot less guns. I'm actually going to go high niche on this one because to me, you sometimes need those citadels and sometimes you just don't get them. You just don't.
Yeah,
And while
yeah,
they do chunk, they're a lot better than another ship in this area with the 457s and such. I find that it's a good sister ship to Montana where sometimes your games are going to be better than Montana, some of the games are going to be worse. Like it's a very it's an ebb and flow, and you really want those citadels to really push that damage above. But of course, it's RNG, so you're not really getting it all the time.
I mean there is some aiming that'll help you get more citadels, but like I said, that's why I said I could only put it into playable just because if you don't understand exactly where you want to be hitting all the other battleships or cruisers, like the best spots to give you those citadels, you're gonna struggle with the ship. So, and that you got to pay for it.
that's why I put it in niche. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, it's a nicher Montana. Sometimes you're gonna have good games, sometimes you're not. It is a premium still. Technically, Montana's gonna be more consistent, but Ohio still does a pretty darn good job at first year. So, at
like I
least in my
said, it's
opinion.
fun to bring out every now and then. But yeah, I could, given the fact you have to pay for the thing, and it's really not a step up from Montana. So I could see it down in a niche area.
Preussen, saying it right this time.
Preussen.
Not
Oh,
gonna make the whole Cyanogen getting pissed off at me calling it, was it
the
proven
Proven.
Proven.
So if Grosser Kurfürst in Montana had a baby,
Yep.
we put Montana guns on a Grosser Kurfürst hull, and I think you got it. Oh, you there you go, right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's now we could make an argument. I don't even know if I can make the argument about meta, but like straight up competitive, it's a great ship. I mean, it's just
It
you
does everything
fix
you want it
the
to.
exactly. You kind of fix the issue with if you suck with aiming, you know, two gun turrets, battleships. If you suck with aiming with those, you fix that because you got more firepower. It's it's a fantastic ship. It really is. It's tanky. It does everything you want, except for maybe AA.
You're not gonna get everything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, straight up for me, that's a competitive ship.
Yeah, I completely agree. It does what a Montana does, but it's tankier. So like yeah, and then plus on
Exactly.
top of it, you're gonna be
Exactly.
able to run Hipper, you're gonna run Sheer, you're gonna run even that one heavy AP bomb one, Luton's, and like that. You can
Yeah.
just deck with this thing. So it's a good solid one. I wouldn't say it's high competitive though. It's definitely very much a low. Like it's
Yeah, it's a lower end
yeah.
competitive, and it all depends on if you got a legendary commander or not. And to me, there's so many good battleships at the tech tree level here. I mean, we already got what we have. Trick Montana, we got Colombo up there. There's a lot of competition for just with the tech trees that you don't necessarily have to buy a premium to be good.
No, nope. Speaking of actually a super solid one, Republic. Where'd you put this? Because I want to see.
Okay, so I put it straight in competitive. Because it's not as good as the Black Repub. It's just not.
Mm-mm,
It's
no.
just because of the Black Repub having the smoke, and I can't put the same class of ship together in meta.
Yep.
Black Repub's just straight better. Uh, okay, full disclosure here, guys. I just ground out this line. I suck with French battleships. With these, with the two gun,
Yeah, the
two
two
turret,
gun layout. Yeah.
I struggle with them. And I'm still like, oh, 90K, 90K. Oh, yeah, no issue. I don't know how I do it, but Repub's a strong ship, but it's again positioning, understanding the map, when and where to flank at. Um,
It's
but it's
devastating,
straight competitive.
but just like
Yeah, it's
Borgogna, it's fast enough you can get yourself in trouble. I put it at the bottom
exactly.
of competitive. Is I would say that it's situationally better than the Montana, but it's very consistent for it. I still think it needs to have its dispersion nerf removed that it had a while back. A while back, it got a like a -4% dispersion nerf on it. I think that should be put back and made a little bit more of a sniper. And I think that would still go in high competitive. It wouldn't even go into meta at that point. But yeah,
Yeah,
Repub is a super solid pick, but it is a bit of a wonky area, especially with the tier 6-7 being odd balls and then the tier 8 being such a massive switch. Alsace, I think a lot of people are sleeping on tier 9. That ship is
Alsace is a beast.
it's a
It
fantastic
is
ever
an
since it's buff.
honest. It's a
Yeah.
great. It's just what a beast. And it's if you're more used to the standard traditional battleship layout, Alsace is so easy to play.
Oh yeah. So it's Republic, I love it, but it's barely holding its competitive area right now.
Yeah,
And I'd even say it probably wouldn't even go down into playable. I think it'd go right into niche if the meta keeps on going the way it is. So
yeah. Like I said, though, it's just I think I don't remember what you guys had last tier maker for, but yeah, like I said, it's right there. It's hanging on to competitive just
yeah,
because, especially if you got Philippe on there, it's stupid. It can be a stupid ship.
Yeah.
but it's not quite as stealthy as a Columbo. But like I said, you can just the fact that you can come around an island on some poor unsuspecting cruiser or battleship, rapid reload up, uh, just tear them apart with that AP and all those secondaries. It's still a strong ship.
Oh yeah, still a very strong ship. Now, a new kid on the block. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to test this at all. It's still very much out there. We are going to rank it still because just from the overall setting, it's basically a tier 7 Florida moved up to tier 10 that has, I think it's Illinois guns, or no, it's actually, is it still Florida guns? I can't remember which one it is.
It's 356s.
Okay, so yeah, so it's still Florida guns, but it has speed boost, and then on top of that, radar. So to me, I'm immediately going to be putting this right into niche right now, and it could go into competitive, it could go into playable once we see what the pen values are and the concealment values are. If it's got bad of those, it's going right into playable. If it's got good, then we're talking a competitive ship. I don't know how what's your thoughts on the overall first stats that we've seen?
That was I don't know for sure. I'd have to double check the PC version. Is Rhode Island an Iowa hull or a Montana hull?
I think it's an Iowa.
It's an Iowa hull. So that right there puts it right where you're in a niche where you got it right now. Like you
It
said,
could go both ways.
yeah, it's the range of the guns, the dispersion, the AP pen.
The
I
concealment, I
mean,
think
having
it's
a
going to be
radar
also a
is
big thing.
nice.
The concealment is if
Yeah,
that's like at almost in comp levels, we basically have an Iowa or like a kind of Florida at tier 10. I could see that being a very fun niche borderline competitive ship if
but
they do
how
it right.
many American battleships have they dropped concealment on?
Good point. Good point. You have a good point there.
You know, like I said, it's going to probably be just an average concealment, which you could put your concealment build, high grade colon, drop that down, and but 350, I don't know, 356 is at tier 10. That kind of scares me that you're going to end up with a North Carolina dispersion kind of ship.
I wonder though, this might actually be one of those situations of where it's a battle cruiser that's labeled as a BB, so therefore it's really actually solid type of situation where like whenever you have a battle cruiser that's a cruiser, it's just too weak. It doesn't actually have the power to hold up. So it might
Yeah,
actually have that situation where it holds.
like I said,
Maybe.
this one when they announced it and I was looking at it and the PC version, I'm like, all depends on the stats how
Yep.
this one comes out to where it goes. But niche is a good spot for it with its skills that we know of.
Oh. Oh yeah. Schlieffen. I
Speaking of
don't.
niche ships,
Yeah, right. I was like, I don't. Top niche. Top niche.
the
This
king
thing.
of niche.
Yep. I almost did a trick Schlieffen because I run Hipper on mine, and this thing is devastating with those guns. But like it's still niche. It's fun niche. It's like a space GK. It's just super fun, but
Yeah, I
it
mean
can't
it's
tank. It can't tank. It can just output damage though.
no, it's just like I said, it's the king of niche. You got the even if you have a normal commander on there, it's just I mean it's got everything to be fun.
And let
You
alone
know,
Prince Rupert, amazing in tier 9 ranked.
yeah,
Oh,
it's just
amazing.
they're so fun, and especially if you can time it. Like I know a couple of the rage guys are just like they're experts on Schlieffen. They can time their pushes right and maximize the ship and to do crazy damage. But then they also have the game where, well, I picked the wrong flank, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's either you're getting 20k or 120k.
they still whip out, like like a bad game for 'em's like 50K. But yeah, I did this in like 1 minute and I was dead.
Yeah, I still say the fun is the best part is I have a few clips and I don't remember if I actually put them out in shorts already. I don't remember, but it's just like sometimes in Sleeping, I'm seeing like basically two groups of enemies. I'm like, I'm going straight down the middle between those two, and I'm just gonna let my auto secondaries handle
Pop the
50,000 damage.
overload.
It was like I don't care. I'm totally dying here, but I'm gonna kick the shit out of both sides.
And I'm gonna duck my torpedoes out just to see if anything hits. It's so much fun, but like I said, it's just where else can you put it?
You can't put it anywhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's hilarious. It's a hilarious ship.
fun ship definitely. Let's talk about a not fun ship.
Not a fun ship.
Okay,
Okay,
this is gonna be my hot take. I
Not
think it
as
needs
hot of a take as not as hot as of a take as you think it is.
really a bunch of people were like, no, that does not go in there. I'm like, no, Shikishima needs fixing. It needs
Okay.
it. The Sun Yet Sun does what the Shikishima wants to do, and it's a tier 9.
So for those people that are going to sit there and argue with us about this, so when Smolensk first released into the game,
Yep.
Shikishima was my Smolensk killer.
Yeah.
I was just I don't remember who it was, if it was Prol or I don't think it was Truvet, but I think it was Prol back when he was in Pramo. He haunted my Discord DMs for like 3 weeks because I took my Shikishima out. He was nose into me at 13 kilometers. I precise aimed up and sent him back to port.
Those are the beauty shots. And it's like, yep, I'm having a good
But
day.
but all of a sudden, Shikishima is just a ship you bring out here and there. So we were prepping for, I don't remember if it was a Kumite or what tournament it was, but I was playing with Oki and we were testing ships out. And he's like, okay, well, you're going to bring Yamato out. I'll bring Shikishima out. And he couldn't, all of a sudden, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with Shikishima.
Yeah.
Like like they did something that screwed the dispersion up on it. And then
It
it was totally unplayable.
it's totally unplayable. I hate it. Anytime anyone's like Shikishima, I'm like, I will play Yamato, and I'm not the biggest fan of Yamato. I don't know, it just doesn't jive with me. But I will take a Yamato over this any day of the week, twice on Sunday, because Shikishima it's such a fickle ship, and let alone you have Incomparable right there that does the exact same thing as
Better.
Shikishima, but way better.
But so what I was going with Shikishima is now I've played it a little bit more. The dispersion's back to it's not what it used to be, but the dispersion's back to where it's playable again. But I don't know if they reduced the Citadel chance or if they screwed with the AP pen on it or something. Something's not right with this ship.
It needs fixing.
It needs its main guns tweaked a little bit. Something got screwed up on it somewhere in the code. And yeah, it needs its Citadel chance up, or it needs the AP pen better. It needs something to put it back up into even for me into a niche position.
Absolutely agree. I don't know how much more we can say. Yeah, it needs fixing. It should be more accurate in my opinion. Just base more accurate.
I
Um,
said I was talking to I think Stormil yesterday about it, and I'm like, the dispersion's back to where I hit 5 out of 6 shots at max range, no issue. But I'm watching, let's see, 5 out of 6 shots hit. Maybe I get one full pen, a couple half pens,
yeah,
and a 0 pen, and I've
that's
got
rough.
I've got APCS plus on this ship. There's no excuse for that.
Oh yeah, no excuse. But now let's talk about no excuse for this ship to be as good as it is. Slava. I think I can just
If you've got if you've got Makarov on it, absolutely meta. Even Kuznetsov's okay on it.
yeah.
I mean,
It does everything the Kremlin wants to do, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're gonna give it Montana guns. Oh, and have the accuracy of a Stalingrad. It's like,
it does it, and I'll have a hot take here in a minute. It does things so much better than a lot of ships, and I mean, how can you argue with it? I mean, it's just easy mode. Sit
yeah,
back, max range, and just delete stuff.
yep. You're just so damn
I
accurate with it.
I don't play this ship because I could fall asleep playing this ship. It's just so easy. It's basic. And if you enjoy playing this ship, guys, I'm not trying to make fun of you, bust on you, but to me, it's the most boring ship ever. It's just that good.
Yeah, I don't want it on my main account. Like if I get it, I'm gonna get the battle honors done and done with it. I don't care. It's such a boring ship to play. So
Now,
freaking insane.
I got it from a rule of the wave. So, and everybody's like, you gotta have it, because we need it for just in case if a tournament comes around. I need the ship. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it's a snoozer,
Yep.
but it's so good, you
Yeah.
can't argue with it.
Oh yeah. Oh man.